Have you ever looked at a normal, quiet house in your neighborhood and wondered what might be hiding behind its closed garage door? What if that ordinary garage was quietly producing a life-changing income? We have all seen the classic backyard wealth videos. They tell you to raise chickens, breed rabbits, or build a massive quail farm. But let's be honest for a moment. Quail need carefully controlled airflow and strict lighting cycles. Chickens require daily outdoor access and a large backyard. Rabbits demand plenty of space and constant physical work. If you live in a residential neighborhood, or you have reached a stage in life where heavy labor is no longer practical, those ideas begin to fall apart the moment you examine them realistically. But what if there were a way to generate $4,600 a month in raw revenue without outdoor runs, loud farming equipment, or a single neighbor ever knowing what you were doing? Inside one ordinary garage, occupying an area no larger than 8 by 10 feet, just one corner of a two-car garage, stands a wall of simple plastic trays. Inside those trays live two tiny, silent creatures. To an untrained eye, they may look almost identical, but they are not the same. One sells for around $15 per thousand. The other can sell for nearly 3 times that price. Yet they eat the same food, live on the same shelves, and are sold to the same kinds of customers. Today, we are opening the door to the hidden garage. This video is not about selling you a fantasy. We are going to show you the exact setup, the real prices, 5 different ways to turn a single colony into 5 separate income streams, and 2 legal checks that many online gurus conveniently forget to mention. Most importantly, we are going to discuss the month 3 wall, the hidden obstacle that destroys almost every home startup in this niche. If you are looking for a gentle, affordable, and rewarding way to transform a small space into a productive microfarm, grab a cup of tea, make yourself comfortable, and let's explore the fascinating world of micro-scale insect farming. Part 1. Meet your silent partners, yellow mealworms versus superworms. To start this business successfully, we must first understand our tiny business partners. Our first partner is Tenebrio molitor, commonly known as the yellow mealworm. Despite its name, it is not actually a worm. It is the larval stage of the darkling beetle. Its complete life cycle is divided into 4 clear stages: the egg, the larva, which is the marketable mealworm, the pupa, and finally, the adult darkling beetle. Understanding this biological cycle is the foundation of the entire business, because every stage can be transformed into a different product. Mealworms are the ultimate volume engine. They are incredibly hardy, prefer dark environments, and live comfortably in a simple bed of grain. Sitting beside them on the same shelf is our second partner, Zophobos morio, better known as the superworm. At first glance, a superworm may appear to be nothing more than a giant mealworm, but it carries an enormous economic advantage. Superworms sell at a premium, often reaching 3 times the price of ordinary mealworms. Reptile owners value them because their larger bodies and energetic movement activate a reptile's natural hunting instinct. So why raise both species on the same rack? Because they complement each other beautifully. Mealworms require almost no manual labor. They breed, lay eggs, and grow together in large groups with very little interference. Superworms, however, become your premium product line. They require more hands-on care, which we will discuss later. But that additional work creates a protective barrier that discourages larger competitors and helps keep prices high. By raising both species beneath the same roof, using the same thermostat, and selling to the same customer list, you can transform a simple hobby rack into a surprisingly resilient business. Part 2. The $100 Starter Kit, Setting Up the Gravity-Fed Tower. One of the greatest attractions of this business model is how inexpensive it is to begin. You do not need a bank loan, and you do not need to build a massive warehouse. A fully functional proof-of-concept system can be assembled for less than $100. Start by visiting a local hardware store and purchasing a simple 3-drawer plastic storage tower. This will become your vertical colony. Only one basic modification is required. Take the top drawer, cut away the plastic bottom, and replace it with a fine aluminum window screen mesh. This is where gravity-assisted sorting begins to work its magic. The adult beetles live in the upper drawer. As they mate and lay microscopic eggs, Those eggs fall through the mesh into the drawer beneath them. Along with the eggs comes the insect's fine dry manure, commonly called frass. Why is this system so effective? Adult beetles have an unfortunate habit of eating their own eggs when both are left together in the same tray. By allowing gravity to separate the eggs automatically, you protect the next generation while eliminating hours of tedious manual sorting. The second drawer becomes the grow-out tray, where the eggs hatch and develop into larvae. The bottom drawer acts as a collection basin for the pure organic frass. For less than $100, you can purchase the tower, a bag of grain substrate, and an online starter culture containing beetles and larvae. In a single afternoon, your small farm can be assembled, operating, and completely silent. Part 3. The Golden Rules of Husbandry. Bedding and the Moisture Paradox. Now let's talk about the environment your insects need. To keep these tiny partners healthy and highly productive, you only need to master two main elements: the substrate and the moisture paradox. The substrate serves as both their home and their food. The cheap wheat bran or rolled oats work well, and they can usually be purchased for very little money at a local feed store. Fill each tray with approximately 2 to 3 inches of substrate. The larvae will live directly inside their food, eating their way through the bedding as they grow. But this is also where many beginners make a costly and potentially fatal mistake. That mistake is moisture. Because every living creature needs water, beginners often assume they should mist or spray water directly into the trays. Do not do this. If the grain substrate ever begins to feel damp, a serious mistake has already been made. Moist grain encourages mold, creates sour odors, and invites the colony's greatest enemy, grain mites. So how do the insects drink? They receive almost all their water from slices of fresh vegetables. Once or twice each week, place fresh pieces of carrot, potato, or apple on top of the dry bran. The insects will gather beneath the slices and absorb moisture directly from the vegetable tissue. Whenever a slice becomes soft, dry, or begins to deteriorate, simply remove it before mold has the opportunity to form. The process is remarkably clean, easy to manage, and virtually odor-free. Part 4. The Earthworm Alternative. Red wigglers and European Nightcrawlers. But what if beetles do not particularly excite you? What if your true passion lies in gardening, improving soil health, and experiencing the quiet therapy of working with the earth? There is an equally appealing alternative that can occupy the very same garage rack: composting earthworms. For seniors, retirees, or anyone searching for a relaxing, low-pressure hobby that can gradually grow into a side business, vermicomposting can feel like a dream come true. Unlike beetles, earthworms do not fly, never enter a beetle stage, and require even less equipment. We focus on two main species. The first is the red wiggler, scientifically known as Eisenia fetida. Red wigglers are the undisputed champions of composting. They are highly forgiving of beginner mistakes, reproduce at remarkable speed, and thrive inside compact artificial bins. The second is the European Nightcrawler, or Eisenia hortensis. These worms are larger and thicker than red wigglers, making them highly desirable to local bait shops as premium fishing bait. An earthworm farm is essentially a tiny living ecosystem contained inside a tub. You feed the worms kitchen scraps, such as fresh fruit pieces, vegetable peelings, and coffee grounds. The food is tucked beneath a soft covering of shredded cardboard or damp newspaper. As the worms digest this household waste, they transform it into what gardeners call black gold, an exceptionally rich organic soil amendment. It is a wonderful way to recycle household scraps, reconnect with nature, and create a valuable product without leaving your home. Part 5. Sales Channels 1 and 2. Live retail cups and standing bulk contracts. Now let's discuss the business side. How can these quiet trays generate $4,600 in monthly revenue? The secret is not simply producing more worms. The secret is selling the same colony in 5 different ways. The first income stream is live retail cups. This means counting live insects into small plastic containers and selling them directly to local pet owners, reptile hobbyists, and backyard chicken keepers. This is where some of the highest profit margins can be found. At a local feed store, a small cup containing 50 live worms may sell for around $8. That can be nearly 20 times the per worm price of a bulk wholesale listing. Potential buyers can be found by posting in local herpetology groups, reptile-keeping forums, and community buy and sell pages. For a solo home operator, direct-to-consumer retail can generate as much as $900 per month. The second income stream is the standing bulk contract. This model removes the tedious task of counting individual insects. Instead, you sell live worms in bulk by weight. Your primary customers are independent local feed stores. When most beginners enter a feed store, they make the mistake of asking the owner, "Would you like to buy my worms?" The owner will usually say no. A better conversation begins with 3 questions. Who currently supplies your live feeders? How often do they arrive dead? And how much money do you lose through shipping mortality? Shipping live insects often comes with a significant mortality rate. By offering dependable local delivery with no shipping losses, you solve one of the store owner's greatest problems. A standing supply agreement with 2 or 3 local stores can create predictable recurring revenue of approximately $1,150 per month. Part 6. Sales Channels 3 and 4. Dried Products and Starter Cultures. But what happens when your farm produces a bumper crop and local reptile owners are not purchasing quickly enough? Live insects are perishable. If they remain unsold for too long, they eventually transform into beetles. This is when the third income stream, dried products, can save the day. You can purchase an inexpensive low-temperature food dehydrator and use it to dry the excess larvae. Dried insects can remain usable for months. They can be shipped almost anywhere without any danger of arriving dead, and they are highly valued by wild bird enthusiasts and backyard chicken keepers. Chicken owners are especially eager for protein-rich treats during cold winters and the autumn molting season, when their birds need additional protein to rebuild feathers. Packaging your surplus insects as a premium dried treat can generate a steady $650 per month. The fourth income stream is starter cultures. As your farm continues operating, the breeder trays naturally begin producing surplus adult beetles and active pupae. Rather than throwing them away, you can package them together and sell them as a new product. A starter culture containing adult beetles, eggs, and healthy young larvae can be paired with a simple printed instruction card explaining how to begin a colony. These kits can sell online for approximately $15 to $40 each. They can be marketed through homesteading groups, self-sufficiency forums, and backyard farming communities. By transforming a natural byproduct into a sellable product, this income stream can add another $350 per month to the garage business. Part 7. Sales Channel 5. Black Gold, Worm Castings and Frass. Now we reach the fifth and perhaps most beautiful income stream, black gold. In almost every other food or livestock business, manure creates a disposal problem that requires time and money to solve. Inside this insect farm, however, the waste becomes one of the most valuable product lines. The fine, dry, sand-like powder left behind by mealworms is known as frass. Frass is highly valued by organic nurseries, urban greenhouses, and premium organic vegetable growers. Why? Because frass naturally contains chitin, the biological material found in insect exoskeletons. When chitin is applied to the soil, it triggers a natural defensive response in plants, causing them to behave as though they are under insect attack. The plants respond by dramatically strengthening their immune systems, producing stronger stems, greater disease resistance, and more abundant yields. At the same time, anyone operating the earthworm alternative can collect pure worm castings. Worm castings function as a powerful soil conditioner and natural pesticide. They enrich the soil, improve its ability to retain water, and release balanced nutrition slowly around plant roots. Both frass and worm castings can command premium retail prices. Individual bags may sell for approximately $5 to $15. The production ratio is also extremely favorable. For every 10 kilograms of inexpensive wheat bran fed to the colony, the farm can produce around 4 kilograms of high-value frass. In other words, the same input pays you twice. This final income stream completes the cycle and can bring in an additional $350 per month, pushing the projected monthly revenue to the impressive $4,600 mark. Part 8. Crucial reality checks. Mites, manual labor, and local rules. At Farmyard Care, We believe in complete honesty. We would be doing you a serious disservice if we spoke only about the potential income while ignoring the challenges. To succeed where many others fail, you must prepare for 3 crucial reality checks. The first is the month 3 wall. Almost every garage operation entering this niche struggles during the 3rd month. Why? Because the biological cycle of these insects is slow. It takes approximately 3 to 4 months for an egg to develop through the complete cycle and become a breeding adult. During the first 90 days, you will have very little to sell. Anyone promising that this business will pay your mortgage next week is selling you a fantasy. You must be patient enough to care for the colony throughout this quiet, early stage. The second reality check is the mite threat. Warm temperatures, organic grain, and humidity create exactly the environment grain mites prefer. If you provide too much moisture or allow the substrate to become damp, an infestation can spread rapidly from one tray to another and destroy an entire rack within days. The solution is strict prevention. Keep the substrate dry. Maintain gentle airflow around the rack with a small fan. Before using new wheat bran, place it in the freezer for several days to kill any wild mite eggs that may have arrived inside the feed store bag. The third reality check is the superworm breeding moat. Many beginners purchase superworms believing they will reproduce automatically in groups like mealworms. They will not. Superworms do not transform into pupae when they are kept together. To encourage pupation, each mature worm must be physically separated and placed alone inside a small, dark compartment. You can use film canisters, pill organizers, or tiny deli cups, with one worm placed in each space. This process is tedious and requires manual labor. But remember, that very inconvenience is one of the main reasons superworms remain expensive and highly profitable. Finally, you must check your local regulations. Before expanding the operation, make a quick call to your local planning department. Confirm that your home business complies with residential zoning rules, especially those involving customer traffic. You should also make sure your products are properly registered with your state agricultural department if they are being sold as animal feed. Completing these basic checks early can help create a smoother and more worry-free operation. The philosophy of slow growth and present action. At the end of the day, the true beauty of this business model is not limited to the possibility of earning $4,600 per month. It is also about the lifestyle and the philosophy behind the work. Agriculture, in its purest form, does not care about the speed of the modern world. Instead, it teaches us a quiet and beautiful lesson about patience, consistency, and care. Whether you begin with a small mealworm tower in the corner of your garage or create a therapeutic earthworm bin for recycling kitchen scraps, you are creating life. You are transforming what the world considers waste into something valuable, rich, living gold for the soil. For seniors and retired viewers, this opportunity can become much more than an additional source of income. It can provide a reason to stay active, keep the mind engaged, establish a peaceful daily routine, and create something that helps make the local community healthier and greener. You do not need thousands of dollars to begin. You do not need a tractor. All you need is one afternoon, a simple plastic storage tower, and the courage to take the first step. So let me ask you a question. Which income stream would you begin with? Would you choose the high-value retail cups? Would you prefer the stability of recurring bulk contracts? Or are you, like me, completely fascinated by the idea of turning ordinary waste into black gold? Tell us in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Farmyard Care, and share it with someone searching for a quiet and meaningful way to begin a new journey. Thank you so much for watching. Keep caring for the land, and we will see you in the next video.